the most played decks, but
yeah, Mono Green Infect has had a lot of success, especially in the last like 3-week period. It started to do really well when non-Delver decks became popular because its Delver matchup is questionable at best, but it kind of started to fall out of favor again once everybody just started going back to Delver, and especially once people started playing like equipmentless versions of Delver, like the equipment's kind of dead against Mono Green, it just became a lot weaker. But clearly the deck still has a lot of power because here these people are sitting here 6-1, still very much alive to make top 8 of this tournament.
Now, Kobie does not look like he's got a great game 1 against Infect.
It's strange. If Kobie can resolve a Lingering Souls before he dies, he's probably going to win the game.
That's fair.
But if he can't, then
he's just dead.
He's just dead.
Yeah,
so,
he basically has Time Walk with Flashback, assuming Nick doesn't kill him in one fell swoop with either an Unnatural Predation or an Apostle's Blessing.
Yeah, I mean, Lingering Souls is more than just a Time Walk against the Mono Green Infect deck because it trades with the guys. So in many ways, it just puts up this wall that Nick is not going to be able to do anything until he has a way of just powering past Lingering Souls. So until he can set up a turn where he can really go all in on an Apostle's Blessing or on an Unnatural Predation or on a Rancor. So if he can't go all in on one of those spells and just get Kobie for lethal, then Kobie's going to have an opportunity eventually to put an Elesh Norn on the table, and once he does that, the game's over. So this is an interesting match because Kobie just wants to put an Elesh Norn on the table as fast as possible, and he has a lot of ways to delay Nick Marriott, and Nick Marriott just wants to kill Kobie before that can ever happen.
Now, Nick is running 3 main deck Green Sun Zeniths, which is more than a lot of the Mono Green Infect lists that I've been
most
seeing.
of them run 0.
Most of them run 0. The max I had seen was 2.
Yeah, and the reason Nick has done that is because instead of playing cards like Blight Mamba, which, you know, you never really regenerate a Blight Mamba when you're playing the Infect deck. I don't know, I've played a few matches with the deck, and I definitely never activated the regenerate ability on a Blight Mamba. All the matches I've watched, I've never seen Blight Mambas regenerate activated. So Green Sun Zenith can just grab you the extra Glistener Elves, which, essentially are Blight Mambas because of the way they play out, but also it gives you the option of going to grab your Viridian Corruptor. And Viridian Corruptor is really strong against some of the cards that might cause the Infect deck some problems, some of the artifacts in the format. So something like a Mortar Pod.
Yes, a Sword of Feast and Famine also.
Yeah.
So there's some very important artifacts for Viridian Corruptor to be able to take down. Tumble Magnet, possibly.
Yeah, you never know. You could run into a Tumble Magnet. I think the big one he's worried about is Mortar Pod.
His Mortar Pod, sure. Yeah, with his...
and Rune Chanter Spike on a Flyer is also a problem because you can't trample over.
So we've started here. Kobie Spaeth went turn 1 Copperline Gorge into Avacyn's Pilgrim.
That's a great start for him. 3 colors of mana.
Yeah.
First turn. A Cathedral War for Nick Marriott. No pressure, but still a very good start. Going to give him access to his turn 3 attack is going to be a lot more dangerous than it would have been otherwise.
That's the box promo Cathedral War. Actually, I haven't seen the art for that one yet. Kobie is going to play turn 2 Mulch.
Yeah, let's see what he hits here. So he's hit 1 land, and he got an Unburial Rites with a Thragtusk in the yard. And Thragtusk is not very good against Nick Marriott's deck. Much stronger if he's playing against something like Delver here. So, a Faithless Looting from Kobie here. Never mind.
Alright, standard winner box number 1. You can please meet by the main event stage.
So he follows it up with a Razorverge Thicket. Nick Marriott goes Inkmoth Nexus, Ichor Claw Mirror. So no green mana for Nick. I see, he's got green mana in hand. He also has another Cathedral.
Okay, so Kobie, if he's able to survive this one turn, is probably going to win the game because he's just Faithless Looting, and he's going to be able to flash that back. So as long as there's an Elesh Norn somewhere in the top 4 cards of his deck and his hand, and he's playing 4 of them.
Also, if he happens to have
there it is.
There's an Elesh Norn. If he happens to have a Lingering Souls in hand, well, that Bird of Paradise should suffice, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can just throw basically anything in the way of the Sacred Claw Mirror. He's got to watch out.
So Nick has gut shot here. Now, if Nick has Wild Defiance in hand, which I don't think he does, then this is just game, actually, because he can tap out and... oh, no, it's not.
He needs
He
trample.
would need more...
So-
Yeah, never mind. So it looks like Kobie's gonna get this one.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Nick can win this turn. There are definitely lines that Nick has that will make him win this game this turn. So we're gonna have to see. Can Nick win this turn? If he can, then Kobie loses. And this is kind of like the volatility of a matchup like this, or the volatility rather.
Right.
Nick's deck very, very capable of doing horrible, horrible, scary things, killing the opponent on these very early turns. But Kobie's deck able to just lock Nick's deck completely out of the game if it's able to put an Elishnorn on the
Nick
table.
almost snapped that Ichor Claw Mirror on the table to signify that it was attacking alone, getting the Exalted. First, we're gonna... Well, Nick apparently has some decisions to make. He does indeed attack with the Ichor Claw Mirror.
Yeah, and that's going to get +1 here. So if you're Kobie, you have a few different options here. You can choose to just take it.
He's going to block, and then the bird is going to get gut shotted. So Kobie will need a come into play untapped land next
It's a
turn.
hard thing for Kobie to get. So now, because
He
Kobie...
has Faithless Looting a lot and mulched. And there
Oh,
it is.
yeah, so there it is. And here comes Elishnorn,
And that's game.
and that's game.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
there's,
He has no outs, right?
No, he has no outs.
He just wants to see more of Kobie's deck, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Kobie can just attack him 5 times with Elishnorn and the game ends.
Yeah, Nick has no way to. Yeah, geez.
That's it.
That's enough for Nick. So that's game 1 to Kobie Spaeth.
Yeah, and looking at the sideboard here for Nick Marriott, even in his sideboard, the only way he has to actually kill an Elishnorn is Beast Within, which he has 2 copies of, and hypothetically, he can Ratchet Bomb up to 7.
Sure, because that's reasonable.
Yeah, he's going to be siding in these Ratchet Bombs because they're awesome
Yeah.
against Frights just in general, because Frights is so dependent on these 1-mana creatures,
Yeah.
and the Lingering Souls are one of Kobie's best defenses against a deck like Mono Green Infect. So he's going to want to side in these Ratchet Bombs anyway, and you never know. Sometimes you just got to get a Ratchet Bomb to 7.
I guess. I mean, if he can survive that long, that'd be great. Now, in Kobie's sideboard, I think that he knew that he had a weakness to the Mono Green Infect deck because he has 3 copies of Melira Silvok Outcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Poor Nick Marriott.
Yeah, seriously. And then, should Kobie show Nick that he has Melira Silvok Outcast and manage to win? Nick Marriott has a copy of Melira Silvok Outcast in his sideboard just for the Doomblade. Just a phantasmal image away that legend. So that's exciting to see. So I
I
imagine
think that's more for the mirror, and he can green Cincinnatus for it also.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane. So it looks to me like Kobie will likely take out some number of Thrag Tusks and Wormcoil engines, bring in the Meliras and the Ancient Grudges.
The Ancient Grudges are absurd here.
Yes.
The fact that he gets access to 4 of them, and when you're playing Ancient Grudge in a deck that has cards like Tracker's Instincts, Mulch, Faithless Looting, those Ancient Grudges just become, free smelts in his deck. And Nick Marriott, almost all of his threats are artifacts. The Inkmoth Nexus is an artifact, the Ichor Claw Mirror is an artifact. The only things he has that are going to be attacking that are not artifacts are the Viridian Corruptor, which is definitely getting sided out, and the 4 Glistener Elves. So unless he's able to win with a Glistener Elf, Kobie is just going to crush him here. And, that's just the power of Ancient Grudge in this type of matchup. And, that's another one of the reasons why we haven't seen Mono Green Infect so much in the past, week and a half, is because now, again, we have these Naya decks that used to be just straight-up buys for the Mono Green Infect deck. Those decks are all playing Ancient Grudge again. Whereas before, they'd cut their Ancient Grudges so they could play cards like Plummet, or cards like the 2 colorless and a green instant destroy a flyer.
The
or
Crushing
artifact.
Vines.
Crushing Vines, yeah. those two cards were taking the place of Ancient Grudge and sideboards because people specifically wanted more Delver cards. But once Mono Green Infect started doing so well, people said, okay, we need dedicated artifact removal
Right.
again. You know, now we're going to need these cards not only against these Infect decks that a ton of people are playing, but also
Trading Post.
there's some idiot who's making everybody play Trading
That's
Post
right.
on the internet, and
Dummy.
yeah, and we need Ancient Grudge against him too.
Sure. Well, just a quick announcement. Star City Games is happy to announce the Star City Games Classic Series. This weekend, the Classic Series is in Knoxville, Tennessee. The hashtag for that event is SCGKNOX. That event has been happening simultaneously with this one. All Classics have an IQ paired with them for day 2. Tomorrow, after the Knoxville Classic today, CM Games is hosting a Super IQ at their store. Go to facebook.com/SCGIQ for more information.
The IQs are really cool tournaments. You get a chance to qualify for the Invitational. It's a huge tournament. You know, there's no tournament with a bigger prize pool except Pro Tour level Magic.
Yeah.
And not only that, but by winning a Super IQ, you also win a ton of money.
Right. Super IQs
So-
are 500 or 1,000? 500?
I think it depends on the Super IQ. I think that
It's something like that.
I think it's as low. I think at the
only
bottom end.
The
is
only
500.
IQs I've won were 250 at the top, but the supers are huge, and then the elites are enormous. So go to facebook.com/SCGIQ or go to starcitygames.com/open_series for more information on those. And tomorrow's is a super at a store in Knoxville, the CM Games. Yeah, the invitationals are insane. Like if a scrub like me can make money, it's $400 for a Super IQ. Thank you, teleprompter.
Got confirmation.
We just got confirmation. That's right. Yeah, I'm a little bummed I can't play in those anymore. Those tournaments were insane. Gave me my only match win ever against one Jerry Thompson. Although that was sort of tainted by the fact that he got a game loss for showing up late. Then I show and tell turn 3 a Hive Mind into play with double packed, double force.
It's pretty nice.
So I had the actual nuts. Plus he put me on my mono blue control thing. So he's like, "Oh, I'm playing around Vendilion Click here." And I'm like, "Show and tell." Okay.
Oh.
Sure.
This store's supply shares is not very good.
That invitational started out real good for me. I was 8-4 going to the last standard portion, which I had 3-1 on day 1. In order to top 8, I would need to go 4-0, 3-0-1, or 3-1. In order to make money, all I had to do was 1-2-1. Completed the 0-4 in standard. Was very proud of myself. I'm real good at Magic. That's why I'm doing this now. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
That's why I tell jokes for a living. What?
The Invitational is an awesome tournament because there are enough rounds where you don't have to have that huge spurt of wins.
Oh yeah, no.
To do well at the Invitational.
At the last Invitational, X3 made it, right? X3 won.
And I think the one before that was, there was an even bigger discrepancy. There were people who, really who won about 2/3 of their matches who were able to top 8 that tournament, and that's awesome because if you're able to win 2/3 of your matches over 2 grueling days of Magic, you did awesome, and that's extremely difficult to do.
It's actually a lot like the Players Championship in that way. Players made the top 4 of the Players Championship with
7-4 records.
7-4.
Yeah.
Which is not good. 7-4 was like putting you on the bubble for day 2 for invitationals. But of course, the opposition was a lot better.
Yeah, the level of player at the Players Championship was pretty high.
Yeah, the worst player in the tournament won a Pro Tour, or Worlds, depending on who you asked. That's pretty rough.
I don't know. They were all pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
There were a lot of people who were saying certain people there were not going to do very well or were not going to play very well, and I was very pleasantly surprised with those people. So
Kobie, by the way, is mulliganing to 6 here. It looks as if he's kept now.
Yeah.
He's going to lead with a Bird of Paradise off of Copperline Gorge, off of Nick's Cathedral of War once again. I think the Cathedral of War draw against Frights is just not acceptable.
Mono Green Infect is not a deck that mulligans well.
That's true.
You know, if you have a keeper, you got to keep it almost no matter what. So
Nick has Livewire Lash in his hand. We did not think he was going to side that in when we were discussing it.
I do not think that's a good card to sideboard in here. But
I agree. I think that maybe Kobie is...
Well, that's a
Malira.
That is a Sylvok Outcast.
So now we're going for damage. Because Malira, I believe the wording on Malira is turns the infect into damage. Right? Is that how that card works?
You cannot receive infect counters, and creatures cannot have -1/-1 counters put on them.
Right. But I think that it still deals damage. It just deals actual damage, right? Or maybe I'm just an idiot. That's possible. Yeah, they lose infect, so they just become regular creatures. Cool. So there's Malira, Sylvok Outcast. The flavor behind Malira, by the way, is that she's the only thing in Mirrodin that has no metal in part of her. So that's why she's an outcast, I guess. You can't get poison counters. Creatures you control can't have -1/-1 counters placed on them, and your opponent's creatures lose infect. So that's pretty good against the infect deck, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I mean, Nick Marriott, though, not in that bad of a spot. Livewire Lash just lets him kill that Malira almost free of cost.
Does it really? Does that deal damage to creatures and players?
Yes.
That card's bonkers.
I haven't seen that card in some time since Limited, but...
We're going to get a little close-up on that Livewire Lash for you. There it is. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell, this creature deals 2 damage to a target creature or player. Wow!
Yeah, so he can just Mutagenic Growth a guy that he suits up with a Livewire Lash and then just shoot the Malira.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so Livewire Lash, a card that we did not think was going to be that good for Nick. Maybe he saw Malira coming.
Yeah, he just knew, he just had it.
Or I think in a lot of ways he may have thought that Livewire Lash was a really good way to get past the...
Lingering Souls.
The Lingering Souls tokens and stuff. He could just throw a bunch of pump spells on something.
He could be like, I'm already attacking with this.
Him.
Yeah, I'm already attacking with this and pumping. I may as well, kill off these Lingering Souls or just deal direct damage.
Yep.
So, Kobie we thought was in a real good position. He still definitely is. That's a Gavany Township, so that's going to make things significantly more awkward for Nick to try to kill the Malira.
Yeah, now with the Gavany Township, if he can get this Malira up to 3 toughness, which he can just do with what's on the table, then it's going to be a pretty big problem here.
So, Kobie's going to leave that Gavany. He's not going to leave that Gavany mana up.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
He's
going to activate it now.
Activating it now to deal 1 damage for that Birds of Paradise, and that's going to make this Malira into a 3/3.
Yep, that Livewire Lash is not equipped to anything, so yeah, that's pretty awkward.
Yeah, so now Nick's going to need to burn 2 pump spells on a guy.
He can also. He's got a gut shot in hand, so he could have equipped and then pumped to deal 2 and then gut shot it.
And then gut shotted it.
But, that's still not great. Yeah, we're going to pump some more. We're just going to win off the back of this township. It's a Spellskite. I'm not sure that really helps the cause, but...
And Township Land is really strong. I mean, I have never kept 4 Bird Paradise hands before I had Gavany Township. And recently at a PDQ, I kept a hand that was Gavany Township, Copper Lion Gorge, Razor Verge Thicket, 4 birds. And just demolished my opponent with it.
That's insane. I remember keeping a hand that was like, it was something like 3 or 4 mana guys, and I drew into an Elishnorn, just because, that's reasonable, right? But I kept it because of the township. I was like, I can clearly just win off of my little idiots.
Yeah.
Or I can win off this 4/7 that I miracled. One of the 2. Looks like Corey Baumeister has won his round. That leaves him in contention.
No, I think
he lost. He lost last round to the Stuffy Doll guy.
Yep.
Oh, so never mind. Oops. Well, he won his round. Man, that Stuffy Doll deck. Oh my god.
That Stuffy Doll deck is
I get the vapors just thinking about it. We did a deck tech with the Stuffy Doll guy. He knows his stuff. Pun intended. But how when you go to F&M And there's always the one guy who's like, haha, I have a Stuffy Doll deck. Check out all my Blasphemous acts. He's that guy, but he actually then put a significant amount of thought into it. Like every question I had, he was like, yeah, I thought of that, and here's the reason why it's good, here's the reason why it's bad. And I'm just like, whoa, way too much information that I would, like, significantly more than I've ever thought about Stuffy Doll. I was a little bummed he didn't have the old Time Spiral Stuffy Dolls, but you know, beggars can't be choosers.
The new art is like way cooler.
It's
though,
so
right?
creepy.
Yeah. And the old art is like, you know,
it's the art from Black Vice.
Yeah.
Or the Rack. Yeah.
It's the Rack's little guy. And that's,
whereas
I mean,
the new
like
Stuffy
that
Doll
was
art,
the Time Spiral throwback.
Yeah, is like crawling. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's the old art. The new art is creepy. Oh my god. Ah, there's a skull there. That thing's just like out of the ground. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Anyway, back to this match. Nick's trying to dig his way out of this.
Yeah, but I mean, with
it's going to be rough.
Ticking up here, it's good now.
Oh
yeah. So this Scavenging Township just going to keep on pumping these guys up, and as he does that malaria is just going to keep on getting more and more out of range here.
Not only that, but we've got a clock in the form of some 3/4 flyers that aren't Restoration Angels. These 3/4 flyers are indeed birds of paradise that have been elected to city council 3 times, I guess. I don't know what the flavor of township giving you +1/+1 counters is, but
yeah, stronger as a group.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll let it slide.
Work into the town.
Yeah, the birds built a birdhouse or something, and so they were voted onto the school board or something. Yeah. Nick is in a very rough spot.
Good citizens.
It's gonna be super rough for Nick to be able to dig out of this. I mean, I don't see a way of doing it other than
he can kill the Malira right now if he wants to.
Yeah, I think that the odds. I think what he needs is Ratchet Bomb to clear these birds.
I think what he needs is an all-in turn.
Sure.
I think an all-in turn would do it for him.
And Nick has to figure out the math on that. It looks like he's just got a lot of pump spells, but unfortunately a lot of them are Phyrexian mana, and he's only sitting on 11. So he's got 2 gut shots, Apostle's Blessing, Mutagenic Growth, 3 of the same card over there? No, 2 of the same card. He's going to Green Sun.
No,
he's going to discard. Wow. He's got at least 2 Ranger's Guiles. Oh, does he not have green mana?
No, he doesn't have green.
Wow.
I mean, an Ancient Grudge, and that's got to be
That's got to be game. Yep, he's going to take down the 1 blocker.
Nick's going to have
Although,
to
no,
start live wire
he can
lashing.
Apostle's Blessing.
Yeah, Kobie can just, you know, the Apostle's Blessing isn't really...
Currently, the live wire lash is the target, by the way. Playing around Apostle's Blessing as best he can.
The problem is he's going to have to spend a lot of Phyrexian mana to Apostle's Blessing something like this away.
Yeah, he's going to need to spend Phyrexian mana to redirect the Ancient Grudge to the Spellskite. Then there's the Apostle's Blessing. Then he's going to need to Apostle's Blessing the Spellskite to protect.
Oh no,
from
he
the
can just
Ancient
Apostle's
Grudge,
Blessing the live wire lash though. Because it's
target artifact or creature.
Yeah,
wow.
That's one of the reasons why Apostle's Blessing is
fascinating.
So awesome. Is,
I don't think I've
protects
ever
their swords.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that come up in my matches, but I don't play a lot of Magic, so apologies for that oversight. That's insane.
So gonna go to 9 here. Gonna try to protect this live wire lash from Ancient Grudge.
Oh no, he's going to Apostle's Blessing the Spellskite.
And he's going to
deal 2 damage to the Malira.
Okay.
It looks like what we're going to do is we're just going to try and kill the Malira with several Phyrexian spells, and then try and kill him next turn. Hope for a forest, kill him next turn.
I guess it's a plan. I mean,
It's a rough plan. I mean, we were in dire straits.
yeah, he's dead this turn if he does that, because he has to spend too much Phyrexian mana. And even if he's able to survive this turn as a result of that, and he does draw the green, then he just dies because he can't spend Phyrexian mana the next turn to put the pumps in. So I feel like at this point, Nick Marriott can probably survive this turn if he tries hard enough, but it seems
I don't know.
extremely
Do you really
unlikely to
think
me.
he can? There you go. Thank you, Kobie, for splaying that out for us.
Yeah, Kobie making sure that everything's clear and well illustrated for us. A gut shot now targeting the Spellskite. Nick Marriott falling to 7 from that gut shot, and that gut shot is going to make the Spellskite deal 2 damage to Melira, Sylvok Outcast.
So that stack is going to clear now.
Wait.
I'm confused as to why he
Okay.
didn't kill the Melira.
Well, he has another
Oh,
gut
he
shot in
has
his hand,
to-
so he can finish it off via the gut shot in his hand.
Well, so
Yeah, but
he's
he
going to
wants
take
to-
6 in the air from these birds this
Well,
turn,
what
right?
he wants to do is he wants to get Kobie to attack with not both birds.
Ah, I see.
And
I
by
see.
doing it this way, he can somehow convince Kobie to make the wrong attack. So Nick Marriott's actually playing this game very well.
Yeah.
This is a very reasonable game plan.
Yeah,
here.
for how behind the 8 ball he was, he's certainly making a game of it, at least, you know, by all appearances so far.
Now, the Spellskite has protection from red, do we know? Or does it have protection from green? Because that's going to be pretty important.
It's red, because he gave it... Oh, no, we don't know.
No, he...
Yeah, live
Yeah,
wire
was targeted, but
was
he
the
targeted a
target.
Spellskite with an Apostle's
With the
Blessing
Apostle's
to trigger
Blessing.
the live wire. So I'd like to know...
I bet it's green, but I don't know.
I think it's probably red. It should be red.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's red. Yeah, so attacking with both, and that's it. So Nick Marriott trying to convince Kobie to make a bad attack, but Kobie doesn't fall for the bait. Says, you know what? No, I'm going to attack correctly, and eliminates Nick Marriott from this tournament. Nick Marriott, who was able to go on an insane run a couple weekends ago playing this mono green. In fact, I didn't lose a match in that entire tournament until the finals. Right here, playing against Kobie Spaeth. Gets demolished in 2 games. Kobie Spaeth ending up at X1 here. All right, so we're back. We're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota.